How Will Smith feels about Chris Rock's comedy special. Will Smith reacted to Chris Rock's selective outrage comedy special. The comedian spoke out for the first time in extensive detail about the Oscar slap of 2022 that will go down in history forever. Will and Chris's incident occurred live at the 94th Annual Academy Awards ceremony on March 27, 2022, when the Saturday Night Live alum made a distasteful joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. "Jada, I love ya. G.I. Jane 2? Can't wait to see ya," Chris Rock said in part, making a comparison between Jada's shaved head and actress Demi Moore's buzz cut in the 1997 movie G.I. Jane. Jada, for her part, has gone public with her years-long struggle with alopecia, an autoimmune disorder that attacks hair follicles and can result in hair loss and balding. She was visibly upset at Chris's comment, rolling her eyes from her seat as he defended the joke. Will then stepped on stage to slap the comedian. Although the live broadcast quickly began to censor the exchange between Will and Chris, uncensored footage that aired internationally revealed what was really said between the actors. "Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me," Chris said in disbelief. From afar, Will could be heard yelling at the comedian to not speak about Jada. "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth," he screamed twice. Though the King Richard actor publicly apologized, the two are still not on amicable terms, and Chris aired out the drama in his new Netflix special. How did Will Smith respond to Chris Rock's selective outrage? According to several sources, not that well. Will is embarrassed and hurt by what Chris said about him and his family in his Netflix special. He didn't watch it, but he had people tell him what Chris said, a source told ET. "It's everywhere when you look online and on social media, so Will and Jada have seen comments about it. Will apologized to Chris and would like for Chris to let it go," the source added. Will has worked on himself and is banned by the Oscars for 10 years. He feels like that's enough and wants Chris to move on so that he and everybody else can move on too. Will is also upset that Netflix was a part of this and thinks Chris insulting Jada again is below the belt. He is upset that Netflix gave Chris this platform to share these messages and thinks it's distasteful. Though the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air actor still has a lot to say since he felt terrible for so long about smacking Chris at the Oscars. He's tried unsuccessfully to make amends in the best way he could with Chris. Throughout his set, Chris teased some jokes alluding to the slap by saying, "Words hurt. Anybody who says that words hurt has never been punched in the face." He ended his set by calling Will Shook Smith, a reference to the recently incarcerated Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight, who was sentenced to 28 years in prison in 2018 for manslaughter. Rock said he was taking out his anger over his wife's entanglement with musician August Alsina, who was discussed on her show Red Table Talk in 2020. "She hurt him way more than he hurt me," Rock said. "Who'd he hit? Me. A man he knew he could beat. That's some B-ass shit." He continued, "Will Smith is significantly bigger than me. Will Smith does movies with his shirt off. You've never seen me do movies with my shirt off. If I'm in a movie getting open heart surgery, I've got on a sweater," Chris said. "Will Smith played Muhammad Ali in a movie. You think I auditioned for that part? I played Pookie in New Jack City." He admitted he was a fan of Will when he was opening for Run DMC. "But now I watch Emancipation just to see him get whooped," referencing when Will played Slave Peter during the Emancipation Proclamation era. Another source told People that Will is relying on his family for support. Family is important to him, and Smith leaned on them in the aftermath of the incident, the source said. "It all has helped him look inside and mature. He's better, but still remorseful," the source continued. "Will listened to those who tried to help him and feels that he has become a better person." A source also told Page 6 that the comedian still hasn't accepted an apology yet. Will did call Chris last year after the Oscars, but Chris didn't pick up, and they haven't spoken since. Chris was open for a call until Will made his public apologies and then all of those Red Table Talk discussions. Will's two public apologies were all about saving his own reputation, the source told the site. Will has not apologized to Chris Rock in person, and Chris isn't expecting it. The source said that the comedy set was closure for Chris, he wanted to do that in a safe space. In his apology video that he released in July 2022 titled "It's Been a Minute," Will revealed that he's reached out to Chris, who rejected his request to talk because he's just not ready yet. "I'm here whenever you're ready to talk," he said in the message towards the Madagascar voice actor. "I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk. And when he is, he will reach out," Will said. "So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk." He also confessed that he didn't realize how many people would be hurt by his actions. "I saw an interview that his mother did. That's one of the things about that moment I didn't realize. I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment," he said. "So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, especially Tony Rock. We had a great relationship. Tony Rock was my man. This is probably irreparable." Will ended the video by telling viewers that he spent the past 3 months since the Oscars replaying the moment with Chris in his mind. "I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the complexities and nuances of what happened," he said. "I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now, but I can say to you, there's no part of me that thought that was the right way to behave in that moment." As a result from the slap, the Academy has banned Will for 10 years. It has been a tradition for the winners of the previous year to present their awards to their successors for the next year, but he will not have that honor. In an open letter, the Academy announced the board has decided for a period of 10 years from April 8, 2022, Mr. Smith shall not be permitted to attend any Academy events or programs in person or virtually, including but not limited to the Academy Awards. In the same statement, the Academy apologized to Chris, the rest of the Academy, and the public for the moment. "We want to express our deep gratitude to Mr. Rock for maintaining his composure under extraordinary circumstances. We also want to thank our hosts, nominees, presenters, and winners for their poise and grace during our telecast." Will has already resigned from the Academy on April 1st, 2022, issuing a public statement condemning his own actions. "My actions at the 94th Academy Awards presentation were shocking, painful, and inexcusable. The list of those I have hurt is long and includes Chris, his family, many of my dear friends and loved ones, all those in attendance, and global audiences at home," Chris said at the time. "I betrayed the trust of the Academy. I deprived other nominees and winners of their opportunity to celebrate and be celebrated for their extraordinary work. I am heartbroken."